I'd been going out with Andy for about a year when he told me he didn't like my hair. Now, he didn't say it directly, but he was looking right at my head when he said, "You know what? I had to snake the shower drain again this morning." Codependent that I am, I went right out and got my hair cut. Short. I'm talking super short. I'm talking that kind of, I sincerely hope you have a nice shaped head, that kind of short. Now, my hair, without the weight to make it wavy, is very, very curly. One night, lying in bed, Andy peered at my short, coarse, curly hair, chuckled to himself, and then said out loud, "Do you think God just screwed up and put pubic hair on your head by accident?" It was in that moment I remembered something my mother told me when I was 10 years old, and I knew that Andy was not the man for me. When I was 10 years old, I had a curling iron. Now, a curling iron has no place in the hands of a 10-year-old, particularly if that 10-year-old has thick, curly hair, but it was 1978. And thin, straight hair was in, preferably thin, straight hair like Cheryl Teague's had. Do you remember that shampoo commercial she did? Where she talked about standing on her balcony in the morning sunlight, running a comb through her freshly shampooed hair until it dried. I can't tell you how many times I tried to do that. Never did work out. It's all fun and games for the first 4 minutes while my hair's still soaking wet, but as soon as the first few locks start to dry and spring into their naturally coiled position, it's all over. Tangles, snarls, and tears ensue. But the curling iron. The theory was that through militant blow drying, I could straighten out most of the natural and therefore undesirable curl, and then use the curling iron to make new curls. This never did happen. Blow drying does serve to straighten out some of the curl, but the curl that stubbornly remains serves only to bolster and volumize, resulting in a full 360 of hair. To this, I was supposed to apply the curling iron to the sides and to the back for a finished look, but mostly what I got was second-degree burns on my wrists and on the side of my neck. It was the morning of the science fair that was my undoing. Ah, jeez, when I think about the time that I spent with my hair. My morning hair ritual was taking over an hour each day. This was valuable time that other 10-year-olds were using to drink Tang and eat Eggos. But my school's dress code strictly prohibited ball caps for girls, so my morning started with lather, rinse, repeat, followed by deep condition, blow dry, mousse, curling iron, and hairspray. I may well be single-handedly responsible for poking a hole in the ozone layer. Back to the morning of the science fair. I'd stayed up late the night before with my mother. We were gluing coffee grounds to a mound of papier-mâché that was designed to belch baking soda and vinegar in a rough representation of a volcano. I knew I couldn't take the volcano on the bus, so, wanting to save time in the morning, I went ahead and washed my hair the night before, and then fell asleep on it wet. I woke up with the bedhead from hell. Half my hair was plastered flat against the side of my head, remarkably straight, actually, but not in a good way. The other half of my hair came in somewhere between parallel and perpendicular to the earth. There was not enough mousse in the world to fix it. I tried brushing, I tried combing, to no avail. I did not look good, and therefore neither did Vidal Sassoon. Barrettes, no luck. A headband didn't even last a bull rider's 8 seconds before my hair threw it to the ground. Oh my gosh, my mother was yelling at me from downstairs to hurry up, that I was going to be late for school. I had the curling iron in one hand, the brush in the other, and a ponytail holder between my teeth when my mom showed up in my doorway with her hands on her hips. "Jennifer Marie, we have to leave now." As I turned from the mirror to look at her, there was a trail of spittle coming out of the corner of my mouth. Fury and frustration were boiling up inside of me, and as I looked from the curling iron to the brush, I felt a wayward curl tighten of its own volition and actually poke me in the ear. "I hate my goddamn hair," I said, and threw my brush across the room. Mom drove me to school in silence. That was the longest day of my 10-year-old life. In my family, children are to be seen and not heard. I had never raised my voice at my mother before. I had never thrown a tantrum like that. I'd never thrown anything, and you can be 100% sure I had never cussed out loud. I was terrified to go home after school that day. The second prize ribbon that I had won in the science fair was going to be useless against the kind of trouble I was in. I was going to be grounded for life. I would never see TV again. She was going to take my books and my Barbies, and worst of all, she was going to tell my father when he got home. And my life was over. It was raining that afternoon, and my mother met my brother and I in the Pinto at the bus stop. She drove us home, and like every rainy day of my childhood, she made us popcorn and hot chocolate. And when we were done eating, my brother went into the TV room to watch TV, and I got up, cleared the table, and fumbled through a tearful apology. Mom, I am very sorry for yelling and for cussing, but my hair is terrible and nobody is ever gonna love me. As my mother walked across the kitchen toward me, I could practically taste the Tabasco she was sure to put on my tongue for cussing, and I wondered if I was going to get the belt or the paddle when my father got home. But my mom just stood in front of me, ran a hand through her own thick, curly hair, and then she put her arms around me. "Oh, Jennifer," she said, "someday you're going to find a man who will love you no matter what your hair looks like." Thank you.